Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Up next on the program is a newspaper review.
All right, Chukwudi Okoliobaja is here with us and ready to do the do. I was just telling him to be cautiously optimistic. He's quite excited about the team Arsenal are assembling.
Ooh, Eucharist, you all. Good morning, Victor. How are you?
Very well, good to see you.
You'll be the first to be Eucharist. He's a wonderful striker. Good morning, Demola.
When are we resuming?
Around 15th August.
Fine. We'll see.
But our Super Falcons are the news, not another man's whatever.
When is the MPFL resuming?
MPFL.
Yes, the Nigerian Premier Football League.
I don't know about that one.
All right. Let's get
you upgrade our game to that level of awareness.
Well, maybe please go with that.
Okay, so you have yours there. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's start with Daily Trust, the newspaper. And just below the nameplate, we have National Assembly bars Natasha from resuming plenary. Details of that story can be found on page 15. Flood. Act now. Northern leaders tell federal government. Details of that story can be found on page 45. Reps ask U.S. to restore 5-year visa policy for Nigerians. Details on page 45. How Ajibade Alozie fired Nigeria into WAFCON finals. Details of that story is on page 3 and 4. Our businesses cannot survive on double-digit interest rate. Entrepreneurs. Details of that story is on page 5. 8 months after missing child reunite with mother. Details on page 24. Lawmakers indict 31 MDAs, ask EFCC to recover 103 billion naira, $950,000. Details on page 8. Why Tinubu is yet to appoint ambassadors. Details of that story can be found on page 45. Victor.
All right, thank you, Ademola. I have the Business NG to begin with. And the lead story here reads, Mixed reactions trails Nigeria's 2025 GDP growth after MBS rebasing. And it has the riders. MBS data shows 3.13% Q1 2025 expansion. Debt ratio falls to 39.4%. Critics say reforms haven't delivered real sector gains or reduced hardship. Okay? And just above the nameplate, confidence in Naira growing, says CBN Governor Cardoso. Details of that story can be found on page 2. And same page 2, Akpabio has hijacked the Senate. Natasha explodes after being barred from NAS. And coming down the line, Dangote pumps $763 million into economy from petrol exports in 50 days. Interesting times. And from the Senate comes this one. Senate approves Tinubu's $21.5 billion borrowing plan to fund 2025-2026 budget. And finally, from the Business NG, FG launches HOPE program to boost human capital and drive inclusive growth. And that takes us to the People's Daily, which has the lead story. Impending flood threatening most parts of northern Nigeria. That's according to Northern Elders. And just above that story, you have the double. Natasha shuts down NAS, stopped at second gate. It's on page 3. And on page 5 comes this one. Senate approves Tinubu's $21 billion foreign loan plan for 2025-2026. And at the bottom boxes, you have banditry. Zamfara government unveils new strategies on page 4. Curtailing illicit financial flows crucial to national development, economic sovereignty is credited to a minister. I don't know which minister now for details. Find it on page 6. And ADC accuses Tinubu administration of attempting to cover its economic failure with statistical cosmetics. You get details of that on page 3. And on page 6, FG to achieve $1 trillion economy by 2030, credited to another minister without a name. And finally, in this, okay, I think we should just leave it there. Chukwudi, maybe we'll take it from
No, read on, so I don't have time to do my bit. Victor, the Natasha story reads like a movie, you know, the tango at the Senate. We go back to the basics. Again, I say I align with the judge who thinks it is rather weird, if not unthinkable, for a senator to be suspended for 6 months. It's not about Natasha. Leave Natasha. Who is representing her people
as we speak?
That's the point we're making. If it is in their rules, let them please tinker with it so that let them find a way of punishing erring senators, not for them, their people to be unrepresented. I started saying that before the judge said it. So, we have to work on that. Now, coming to the question of her being barred, she says she's going to go to the appeal court to interpret, what the judgment is really all about. The Senate is saying, no, what they said was not binding on this. It was more like the opinion of the judge. So let the men and women in wig, tell us in more clarity.
But why do we always have this challenge that when judgment is passed, it becomes ambiguous?
Exactly.
Such that people, this one claims victory, this one claims victory. Shouldn't there be a way to send a clear message that this is the position,
Victor,
this is what should be done? Why is it always hanging?
Victor, you are speaking my mind. The impediment you and I have is that we are not one of their learned friends. But I think the judiciary should start being specific, being clear about so many things. Remember what was Peter Obi's party, Labour Party, this one is heading it, this one is not heading it. Remember Anyangu, PDP. It's not right. Whatever they need to do, those who are in the judicial arm of this government, whatever they need to do, let them do it so that it doesn't become a quagmire.
There's clarity.
Do you think it's the judiciary or the politician themselves?
No, but
they just
when the politicians started, why does the judiciary keep quiet?
They just choose to interpret it the way that suits them.
Ademola, if I say to you, give this pen to Chukwudi, it belongs to him, that's clear.
Yeah.
I don't see, you find this situation where, there's room for the two sides to claim victory.
Victor and Demola, do you know the funny aspect of it? Somebody in law will tell you a judge does not rule on what is not presented to them. That's what
what we are saying is understanding
that's what the law
in clear
says.
terms what is ruled.
It is what you present to the judge
exactly.
that you rule on.
Even if what
There's
you
no
desire
assumption.
is very close to the real ruling, they'll tell you that one is ancillary to it, incidental to it. That's not what you brought before the judge. It's quite interesting. I mean, from laymen like us.
Anyway, flawed at now, nothing others tell federal government.
It's just that it sounds reactive again and not preemptive. What can you do in the midst of July, August rains? The only thing you can do is to make sure that helicopters help us pull poor people who have been maybe being pushed to a river where we might not retrieve them from. Then when it happens, how fast you're going to be with the rehabilitation items and all that. That's what you do. But the real thing is to preempt it if you can. I say if you can, because some of this is actually traceable to global warming. The ice is melting, so deluge occurs easily. Where dryness would have been, there's a lot of water now. So whatever is coming from the Atlantic Ocean into the mainland does not find where a crevice to go into. We get floods easily. So we really need to think about these things, but preempting it is always better than reacting to it.
Okay.
And then the rebasing, can you help us understand?
My economics is not very good, but 372 what? Point, yeah, that's what we read yesterday. Yes.
No. Actually, we discussed the rebasing yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
You did?
No, on Monday, yes. The director from Statistical, what's it called now?
MBS.
Bureau of Statistics came here and gave us explanation that although the inflation is gradually, going down.
Yeah,
but
gradually.
the cost of, food items
Exactly.
are still going, up. But not as before. That is, the rate of increase has reduced.
No, we feel it already.
Yeah.
I feel it. I don't know about Victor. It doesn't go to the market. I do. I think something is happening. But that something happening, at the risk of repeating myself, still is a challenge. So the paltry salary you get, I didn't come here to start a war. But the truth is that the money you earn now gives you 1/3 of what you need to really live a life of, that is what is happening.
Actually, that was what was discussed.
Okay,
I
I wasn't here, but
yes,
it's my, little thinking on the matter.
You said your economy is bad.
Oh, well, Good Morning Nigeria is making me things I never was. You start researching.
Maybe it's time to take a revenge. Take your pound of flesh from X and Y.
Let's go. This U.S. to restore 5-year. Reps ask U.S. to restore 5-year visa policy.
I would have called you the scion of fake news. It doesn't make sense that you're asking people to come into the U.S. for 3 months and you're going to come in only once. It's like disregard. Well, I don't know. Do they have something special for our diplomatic corps? I don't know.
I think those are
I think they're on a different pedestal. They are. But even then, there are businessmen who go into the U.S. that need 2 years. When I say 2 years, I mean they come in, they need to go back another 5 months. They don't have to go and line up again for another visa. It doesn't help seamlessness of that business transaction you are, But then Trump, they will tell you, is a transactional president, and the America First is eating into the psyche of so many nations.
I don't think it's only, there are always different categories of visas. If you're a businessman, they know the worth of a business. I don't think that what would apply to a Dangote, for instance, would apply to me.
So it depends on your class of business. Yeah.
So it's not one size fits all.
Not if people like you are going into the U.S. to get second-hand clothes and they want to give them. We know these things now.
That is,
my people call it Opolwa.
That is below the belt.
I don't know whether. Wait. I don't think I have time. What we call bend down pick, check that fabric, is far superior to some of the things we wear. Some of the wonderful, splendid ladies you see out there are in bend down pick.
You seem to know a lot about them. I think we should let him go. We'll see you at Wuse Market.
Before he puts everyone in trouble.
Okay, Chooks. I think it's time for you to go.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We'll see you again tomorrow. So we'll take a break now. When we return, the conversation continues. Stay with us.